This is what you didn't know. Okay, there we go. All right, so it is time for another session of what you didn't know. In today's session, we will be talking about Easter, the holiday Easter. A lot of people call it a Christian holiday, but at the end of the day, Easter actually is not a Christian holiday. So we're going to talk about the origins of Easter and how it became to what it is today. So when most Christians hear the word Easter, they immediately think of Jesus dying on the cross. However, Easter, or the original spelling of it, E-O-S-T-R-E, has nothing to do with Jesus or Christianity. Easter, E-O-S-T-R-E, the original spelling was, or maybe still is, I don't know if there are people out there who still believe in Easter, but she is or was or both a goddess from Germany. She was, and maybe still is, the goddess of fertility, or sometimes referred to as the spring goddess. As you know, Easter is in spring. So there was a time when people believed Easter was a goddess, a female deity who was in charge of fertility, whether it was your animals, your wives, or your crops. She was the reason why you were able to have produce and multiplication, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Historians' earliest written find of the goddess is in the book Temporum Gratian, written by Anglo-Saxon monk Venerable Bede, and this is a quote from his book. Easter Monoth has a name, I'll spell that for you, E-O-S-T-U-R-M-O-N-A-T-H, has a name which is now translated Paschal month, and which was once called after the goddess of theirs named Easter, E-O-S-T-R-E, and whose honor feasts were celebrated in that month. Now, historians are not exactly sure if this information is completely true. If the monk completely made it up, it's fiction, or if someone gave him information and he misunderstood it and he wrote it incorrectly. They're not too sure. But he is the first to actually have written about this goddess Easter. Other than him, there is nothing written in history about this goddess, this German goddess. So in the end, Germans began to create a festival around Easter. And when they migrated to America, they continued to celebrate Easter. When the Christians in America saw their festivals, the Germans, the Easter festivals, they began to incorporate Easter with Resurrection Day, which is the original holiday that we now call Easter. It was originally called either Resurrection Day or Resurrection Sunday. But when the Christians started adding the Easter traditions into Resurrection Sunday, they ultimately decided just to call Resurrection Day Easter. And then they also changed the spelling of Easter from E-O-S-T-R-E to E-A-S-T-E-R. As far as the eggs and the bunnies, Easter was often depicted with hares or rabbits and eggs with her. Sometimes she's holding them, sometimes they're floating in the air with her. The rabbits were a symbol of fertility, and the eggs were a symbol of fertility purity. The Easter egg hunt was originally a symbol of renewal and rebirth. Springtime is, renewal, rebirth, because all of the plants, they start regrowing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the Easter egg hunt was originally a symbol of fertility and renewal and rebirth and things of that sort. So when you say Happy Easter, you're actually not referring to Jesus. Instead, you're referring to the goddess Easter. Again, if you do your research on Easter, E-O-S-T-R-E, all this information and more, I couldn't sit here and tell you everything, is there. As for the images on the internet linking Easter and Ishtar, those are incorrect. There are some memes out there saying that Easter has to do with Ishtar, and it does not. Ishtar, again, is or was, I don't know if this is a goddess that people believe to be false, or if there are people out there who still worship Ishtar. I don't know. But Ishtar is, or maybe still is, a Mesopotamian goddess, so this is a different nation, who was ruled over fertility, war, and sexual love. So Ishtar is similar to Easter because she is a goddess of fertility, but she's also a goddess of war and sexual love, and Easter is not. So they're two separate goddesses from two separate nations, and they are not linked or related in any way, shape, or form. And so that is what you did not know about Easter. I'll see you again for another What You Did Not Know. And of course, always research beyond what I tell you, because there's always more information you just didn't know. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again another time for What You Didn't Know.